And welcome to the Drive to Raw podcast. An extended opening today. Thank you for joining us, Phil.
Thank you, Pete. What's going on? A bit of Deep Purple or something,
Mate,
wasn't it? It took me back a bit there.
That's right. We added as part of the graphics here. We've added the full extended version rather than just a short little clip today.
I was about to jump out the chair and do a bit of a dance.
Love
here.
it, mate. Mate, how was your week? Considering Wednesday was
Wednesday.
a day off.
Yeah, got an email Monday, forgetting all about Country Carnival.
Yes.
I don't know how, but
we've only talked about it for the
last.
last.
Yeah, being a country boy at heart.
Yes.
So Wednesday was off. Got the email. So last week was good. Played Gawler at Toorak, which is home.
Yes.
My rink, lucky enough, got up by 10.
Yes.
Team by 1. So, sore shoulders, I guess.
Three rinks down, if I remember reading correctly.
One draw and 2 losses.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And you're up by 10 and
up by 10.
Carried
them home.
Very impressive, mate.
A good
Very
rink
impressive.
I've got. So.
All right, mate, we got a bit of a shorter episode today. No players interview. We just couldn't back up after Stewie, could we?
Who would you get?
I just don't
Bigger
know.
than Stewie Forbes. Who would you get?
It's up for grabs if anyone is out there that can make any suggestions. But we're going to head out to Modbury and try and do a little bit of interview there of some players, maybe even a couple of players that may not be playing tonight for the Modbury Salisbury match. But we'll get into around the greens and let's have a bit of a look at that, mate.
Around the greens.
I know Deep Purple there, Pete.
Absolutely. Mate, a huge weekend on Saturday. All teams starting earlier because of the heat, and it did throw a little bit of a spanner in the works, having to be up and about early.
It's got to be a good start, doesn't it? 18 ends, it's 3 less than you normally get.
Yep.
But,
and you wouldn't think that would make much of a difference, but it does.
It does. Yeah, I think it's more in the mind.
Yep.
But anyway, round 13 of Premier League, Pete.
Yes.
Somerton 105 versus poor old Lockleys, back to the losers after a couple of wins.
Yes.
75. Jeff Ayworth having a big day out there for Somerton against Ash Halls, 41-13.
Yep.
West Lakes, a good game here. Probably had a slight chance. I think they really needed to win that one. 73 versus Adelaide 80.
Yes.
Isaac Trenorden struggled a bit by the looks. He was on 10. Scotty Tholborn 27.
Just speaking about West Lakes, they just haven't quite got it together this year, have
good
they?
Side, but
it seems like the all the building blocks are there, but just putting it together on a weekly basis.
Another year to gel, hey?
Potentially, and that's what happens when you have a bit of an influx of new players to a club.
So anyway, next game was Grange, 81. Good close game here. I think I tipped Modbury. I remember you tipping Grange, I think, Pete.
Yeah, I might have tipped Grange.
And Modbury 87. So 6 shot win there to Modbury.
Thinking that Isaac and Benny Bowman would be back, that would probably make the difference. But at the moment, Tomo's got Modbury up and firing.
He has, and he was the biggest winning rink again over Mark Evans this time, 14 to Gary Thompson, 23. Yep. So Tomo in some rare form. Well, not rare, really. He's a very good bowler.
Witnessed it firsthand a couple of weeks ago.
Yep. Holdfast, 64 versus Hawthorn, the old side, 89. Jaden Zeller, 8. Matty Northcott, 29. So a big win there to Matty.
Matty's been on a bit of a tear lately. Changed rinks, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago.
He's changed up a bit there, hasn't
he has, and I think he's got Lodgy playing 3 to him. So pretty solid rink that with Kathy Miller on the mat as well. So good luck to Matty Northcott for the remainder of the season.
So the last game for that round was Ascot 94, your side, versus Salisbury at Ascot 60. So big win for you boys.
Absolutely. It was actually pretty tight early. It was, like I mentioned in the intro there, getting an early start sometimes is important.
Yeah.
And early on, I think we had to really dig deep to get a few extra shots on the board, and we were able to do it about halfway through and then didn't look back afterwards.
Brett Davis, which is your ring.
Yes.
32.
Yep.
To Mitch Walker, 14. Mitch has been on the end of a couple hidings this year.
He has. He did mention that.
Now, something we're not allowed to mention is an 8, I believe.
There was a rumour floating around.
An 8 in your rank?
There was an 8 in our rank.
Okay, so you didn't mention it, I mentioned it, Pete. So
there you go.
No fine for you or whatever.
Word travels fast.
You didn't tell me, I heard.
Well, I almost buggered it up, to be honest with you. That's probably why I didn't say anything about it, because I had to move the kitty 12, 14 inches. They ended up moving it about 2 feet. But it was just enough to get everything in the count, and then Brett just drew beautifully for the 8.
More.
So, yeah, exactly right.
Very good. So we'll go to the ladder quickly, Pete.
Yes.
Somerton 12-1, Ascot 9-4, Adelaide 9-4, and Hawthorn 8-5. I think that's it, Pete.
I can't
22 points back to Grange. So
I can't disagree with you. There's going to have to be some big wins between West Lakes and Grange coming home. But I think they're going to run out of weeks to do it. So
well,
the top 4 is probably set.
Chance for Grange this week would be beaten Holdfast.
Yes.
So, and Hawthorn have got West Lake, so you'd probably tip Hawthorn to beat. So then they stay the same. So there's another week gone. But time will tell. Who knows?
Absolutely. But I haven't seen Holdfast's team for this week, whether they've got any players coming in or not.
I don't reckon they were picked. I had a quick look last night, and they weren't on the
on the Bowls link. Yep. So it's going to make it awfully hard, but I think I'm with you. I think the Final Four is now set.
I think she's done, and
it's probably then between Adelaide and Ascot as to who finishes second and third now.
Yes, and it probably might even tell this. Oh, you've got Lockley, so we'll go through this week's rounds rather than pick and choose. Round 14, Modbury versus Salisbury.
I'm going to go Modbury.
Modbury for me. Adelaide,
4 in a row for Modbury.
Yeah, it would be.
Which gets them out of the relegation zone.
Yeah, they're out of it.
And they've got a good group of young kids. They've almost sort of followed Adelaide's lead in, they've acquired, that's probably the word, from Valley View.
Yep.
They've acquired their young players to give them that opportunity to play a little bit higher, and they haven't let them down.
Yep. They got the facilities there to attract young players.
Exactly right.
Undercover.
Exactly right.
Beautiful grass.
Yes.
Match of the round.
Yes.
Next one.
Absolutely.
Adelaide versus Somerton.
I'm going to go Adelaide in an upset.
I almost ringed Adelaide for the win, but I'm going Somerton.
Okay.
So that's probably the only one we're differ on.
I mean, it's at Adelaide. That's probably my only sort of thing leaning it that way, is it's a home ground advantage.
Scotty will tweak the greens, you reckon?
Possibly. But also Nathan Black's not playing either, so that might actually swing my vote the other way, back to Somerton. So, Somerton for me now.
Somerton for you?
Yep,
wow.
I've talked myself out of Adelaide.
There you go. Sound like an Adelaide Crows supporter there.
Possibly.
Okay, the next game's Hawthorn versus West Lakes.
When in doubt, go the home side. And West Lakes have been a bit up and down, and Hawthorn, I think, are firming.
Yep. Another one could be a funny game here is Grange versus Holdfast. Holdfast have to win, or they could be
in trouble
heading to Div 1.
Well, we've seen Modbury win potentially 4 in a row if they win on Friday night, which keeps them pretty much out of it. Salisbury could now be in danger if they do lose to Modbury.
Yep.
Holdfast, you're right. They have to beat Grange, but for me, I'm picking Grange.
Grange for me at home too. Yep. You've got Rudy and Mark Bowman.
Bowie's playing 2, I think, at the moment. Yep.
Playing 2. I had a good chat to him this week.
Yes.
And the last game is Lockleys versus Ascot, and it's Ascot for me all the way.
Ascot for me as well.
Even though it's at Lockleys, and Lockleys' second half of the year has certainly been a lot better than their start.
But I think they had the win knocked out of them a little bit last week by Somerton. But again,
that's the night game.
Class side, exactly right.
Watched a bit of that.
Yes.
Good viewing.
Did you enjoy the commentary?
Was that? I thought it was your voice.
That was my voice.
How did you get it roped in there?
Ash Halls was playing, basically, so they needed somebody else to back in.
I thought it was those beautiful voice.
The dulcet tones. There you go. Well, I didn't get a gig this week, so it couldn't have been that good. I'm only joking. Obviously, Osty's involved with that as well, and we've got to get him on the show at some stage as well. All right, mate, we better move on to Division 1.
Division 1.
Some interesting results.
Yeah, a couple of what I would say upsets.
Yes.
But to their credit, round 13, Paynham. First one, 77 versus Ascot. Somerton, sorry.
Yes.
What did I say Ascot for?
That's
55. Right. Corey Searle, young new skip at Paynham.
Yes.
23 over Jason Hallows, 7.
Yep.
So
and Benny McDonald, I think, playing 3.
Playing 3 in that rink. Yep. So it's a good win to Paynham. They were at home, but I must admit I tipped Somerton. I thought they'd probably beat them
And
even though they're home.
Paynham's actually really only one win out of keeping themselves out of relegation zone as well. And having Aussie back, I think, makes a huge difference.
Another skip there, and a quality skip. So.
Exactly right.
Woodville found Port Noarlunga too strong.
Yes.
Woodville 48 versus Port Noarlunga 83.
Yep.
Mark Hanrahan 11, Corey Jackson 28. So Mark just struggling there.
Yes.
Well, he's ranked, not him.
No home ground advantage there for Woodville.
No.
Played against Woodville a few weeks ago on a Wednesday.
Yep.
They sort of said that they're enjoying playing away at the moment because they don't feel like they've got that home ground advantage.
Unreal.
Whereas some clubs like, say, Paynham feel like they do have that home ground advantage.
Modbury versus Millswood, a close game here.
It was a close game.
So Modbury 62, Millswood 66. And
Yes.
I've got to mention Norb Kratz.
Yes.
18 over Mark Guard 12. So Norby in the losing side, but was the biggest winning rink of the day. So well done, Norby.
Absolutely.
I know he's a listener.
He is. Played against him a couple of weeks ago. He was walking on water there for a while. I seem to be coming up against all these players that are walking water. Yeah, he's flying. He's flying. No, good luck to Norby for the rest of the year.
A bit of a character of the Vols scene.
Absolutely.
Next game's Henley. Another good game here.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a little bit of this because, you can't... Oh, no, I didn't. That was a week before I saw it. Henley versus Toorak at... Henley it was, sorry.
Yes, and Toorak almost registering a win on the account.
69 to 66.
Yep.
Andrew Westbury, 21. Andrew Messenger, 10. So, don't know either of those gentlemen, actually.
No, that's all right.
But, so it was a good game by the looks. Toorak not far away from...
Cracking the win this week, but we'll see that when we have a look at that. But Marion getting up over Club Tranmere.
They did. 81 to 52. Phil Ryan, who we've mentioned a fair bit this year from Marion.
Yes.
25 to John Diesel Fedderson, 10. So John's been on the end of a couple too.
He has this year, yeah, which is very unusual. But, we must mention Club Tranmere. I'm not sure a lot of people know this, but they're celebrating their 150th year. Or 100th year? No, 100th year.
100th, I reckon it is.
100th year this year. I've seen some stuff posted online and I think through Bowls SA or through their Facebook page and everything like that. That's a fantastic achievement. They're obviously sharing facilities there with the tennis club.
Yeah. It's nice,
it is a really nice facility to
play tomorrow.
Bowls. Oh, are you?
Yeah, tomorrow.
There you go.
Hopefully they've got a birthday cake or something.
Covers over the top tomorrow, you reckon?
So, yep.
Be a warm day.
So that was... Did you? I did look at the player ladder too in that Div 1.
Yes.
And Marion were holding the whole 16 of their...
I'd believe it too.
Yeah, they were the whole top 16. I think one's just dropped down, he missed a game. Yeah, it was unbelievable.
Stability is the key, isn't it? You have your 16 available each week or 99% of the time. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah, they had the top 16 at one stage and they're 13-0 obviously on the premiership table.
Yep.
Port Noarlunga up there, Clacker, 11-2.
Yes.
Millswood 9-4. Summit 8-4 and a draw.
Yes.
And then it's 26 points down to Tranmere. So I think
the top four is
she's
pretty set, but there's 4 weeks still to go.
There is.
Anything can happen. And it's probably more looking towards that bottom end of the ladder as to who can maintain the spot because...
There's a big game down there this week.
Absolutely. Speaking with a few people, Div 1 next year is actually going to be very, very strong. It's going to be probably the strongest Premier and Division 1 teams that we've had for a fair while.
I mean, Toorak, they're a good side on paper and they're sitting bottom. No wins. I mean, wow, that's unbelievable. Anyway,
all right, let's move on to
14.
This week. Yes.
Yes, Somerton versus Woodville.
Somerton for me.
Somerton for me. I think this is the match of the round here, Pete.
Okay.
Toorak versus Paynham at Toorak.
I've got another match of the round, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But yes,
we have too.
This is, I think there's a lot at stake in this one here, and I'm going to pick Paynham.
I'm picking Toorak. I reckon they might they're on the grass at Toorak.
Yep.
And that's probably the only reason.
Yep.
And they do line up all right. I mean, that side's not too bad on paper. But anyway, time will tell, Pete.
Paynham for me, Toorak for you.
Toorak for me.
We're allowed to disagree. Yep. Agree to disagree.
Modbury versus Henley.
I'm going to go Henley.
I'm going Modbury.
Okay.
This is a match.
Now, this is the match.
Port Noarlunga versus Marion. Now, Port Noarlunga.
Before we say who we think's going to win this one, or I think you might have already given it away, congratulations to the Port Noarlunga and the Marion Bowling Clubs for arranging their game for a 4 p.m. start and they've got mules that are going to be on after the game, so that way everybody can come back to Port Noarlunga and watch clearly the two best sides in Division 1.
That's a good idea.
Play.
Well done.
So kudos to the Port Noarlunga Bowling Club and Marion Bowling Club for making that happen.
Yep.
We've been on about it, I think, at various stages during the year.
Just didn't get the invite, Pete.
It is a fair trip down that way. But well done to them to seeing that this is an advantage that these teams, all being well, will probably advance up next year. It is sort of the Battle of the South a little bit. And they're going to make a real showcase of it for not only their members, but people that are within the area. So well done to them.
Yep.
For me, Marion, but only just. I think it's going to be a 1 to 5 type result.
I agree.
And also talking to a few people about potentially if Port Noarlunga go up next year, how many people that are just on that fringe of the southern boundary and the metro who might actually step up and head up to Port Noarlunga to play Premier League bowls.
We don't want. I don't want to lose Angus Dixon there.
No, but
he's living at Port Noarlunga.
You may. Yeah, exactly right. All right,
Angus, if you're listening, you're not going anywhere.
All right, and the last game of the round, Millswood versus Tranmere.
Tranmere, and I'm going to go Millswood.
We'll go Millswood
at home.
Same again. Stability. They've had pretty stable rinks now for the last 3 or 4 years. There's a few players there that are obviously standouts, and from all accounts, it's a fun place to play.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, best of luck to the teams this weekend. Thank God it's only going to be 28 degrees.
Yeah.
But really,
nice.
Really looking forward to that. All right, mate, we better get into some hot shots.
Up and in through the front.
Playing a bit of wet. Wow.
Going to get the white through the hole.
It's certainly a pretty good shot. A very good outcome.
All right, everyone's favourite time of the week. It's around the regions, but before we do that, the hot shots. It was a bit of a short, sweet one today of the ladies. I think in the Champ of Champs there, just poking the kitty right through the hole there to make shot and taking it away from the West Lakes girls there. But let's move on to around the regions, mate.
No worries, mate. So the Barossa Light, round 18 it was. Mount Pleasant, 64, so they played Angaston at home.
Yes.
Angaston 85. Brendan Tahini 13, Ian Ellsworthy 30. While we're on Elzo, lost the club singles to Brian Teakle, so congratulations to Brian winning his first ever club singles at Angaston Bowling Club.
Well done.
Yeah.
So a lot of these matches have happened on the weekend without their players that are down here for Country Carnival.
No, because they play yesterday. They played yesterday, midweek.
Yep.
First time they've ever played midweek while Country Carnival. And last week, they played, but they could still play because they only started on Monday.
That's right, of course.
Yep. So, and the next game is Lindock. Not a bad game here. Lindock 82 versus Freeling 71, who are bottom. Harry Sykes, who we've mentioned plenty of times, is ranked 29 over Daniela Madalinsky, 16. I think I've just about got that right.
Yeah.
The name right.
Well
now,
done.
Daniela. Next game was Newry versus Udunda, which was a bit of a one-horse race. Newry 100 versus Udunda 47. As we know, Pete, Udunda started the season extremely well.
Yes.
I think it's their 100th year, and they really wanted to Roosters flag up there, but not to be. They're not going to make the finals. Robbie Grope, 31 over Jimmy Marta from ex-West Lakes boy, 5. So a big win there to Rob Grope.
Yep.
Tanunda, 74. Kapunda, 84. Keith Ward going down to Cat Green, who's had a very good year.
She has.
Keith, 12. Cat Green, 34. So that was certainly the difference there over Tanunda.
Yep.
And that's probably done Tanunda's chances no good at all either.
Yep.
So we'll go into the ladder, Pete.
Yes.
Angaston 14, jumped the top, 14-4. Lindock 13-5. Newry 12-6. Kapunda 12-6. And then you go to Tanunda 9-9. So you'd think their year's just about gone. They do play Udunda this week, but I don't think, I suppose, of Kapunda. No, Kapunda play Mount Pleasant, so you wouldn't think.
Yep.
Yeah, you think that years
The
over.
cream's starting to rise to the top. Anguston
Yes.
back in a very familiar position from the last couple of years.
Yeah, about I think it's five or six
in a row. Yep.
So anyway, Yadunda versus Tanunda this week, round 19. Pete, we're into
Ooh, Yadunda. No, Tanunda. Sorry.
Tanunda.
Yep.
Hey?
Just keeping you on your toes,
Yeah,
mate. Just keeping
you
you on
probably
your toes.
saw the frown on my face there.
Yep.
Even more wrinkles than normal. Kapunda versus Mount Pleasant at the Dome, the Thunderdome.
I'm going to go Kapunda.
Kapunda for me. Freeling versus Anguston at Freeling.
Anguston for me.
And the game of the round, without doubt, Newry versus Lindock. So that's second versus third. And I'm going for Newry at home.
Newry for me as well. Hard to go past the Mayor, who will be in fine form after bowling all week.
Yes, he's. We'll mention that in a minute. We're going on to Country Carnival in a minute. So, the Mayor. So 2 rounds to go up there in the Barossa, and she's all over up there. It goes into finals. So
really looking forward to that. Might try and get out to some of those games.
Yeah.
It'll be fantastic, especially come finals time.
Absolutely.
All right, let's move on to the Country Carnival. Country has come to the big smoke for the week, and from all accounts, apart from the hot weather that everyone had to sort of deal with in the first few days, the last few days have been quite pleasantish to play in.
Yeah.
And results have obviously been flowing through. So take it away, mate.
Okay, so the Newry boys, B. Valenti, Nigel Rookie, Gary Chapman and Brownie have gone through to the down to the semi-finals. They play the last game was 13-12. They only won. They play a Orroroo and Bullaroo rink in the next semi on Monday at Marion.
Yep. I don't know. I haven't seen any potential live stream for that, but I would hope that there's some sort of live streaming going to happen for the.
Yeah, they did last year. They definitely did last year.
Yep.
I didn't watching. I can't even think, but John O'Voigt.
Yes,
he played in just about everything last year.
He
so.
did.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're into the first knockout of the pairs, which would be they would have played today, the second and third round of the knockouts. So they'd be down to the semis now.
Yes.
So I haven't got that in front of me. But the Marsden boys from Lindock are playing at tomorrow at Somerton against the Port Pirie group. Mm-hmm. Brian Grant and Shane Collins from Kapunda are playing again. They're at Holdfast against a Waikerie pair. And Marty Ransom and Ian Greenshields are playing at Holdfast against a Berry pair. Andrew Fitzner and Chris Jones Yadunda, again playing at Holdfast against the Port Augusta.
Yes.
And Warrabra. And we've got 2 left in the singles, Pete, from the Barossa League. Sorry, I'm only mentioning the Barossa League, but that's what we're sort of following at the moment. Aaron Jones, who is no longer in the Barossa League, he's actually at Karoonda, living at Karoonda. He's ex-Yadunda. He plays somebody from Marook, a guy from Marook, and the great man that we had on this
fine program.
Yes,
this, hopefully award-winning, maybe at some stage. Who knows?
Stuart the Bowls Forbes.
Yes,
playing a Taylor from Melrose. So, and that will be, I believe, Sunday. I think we looked up.
Yep.
So that's who's all still in the Country Carnival from the Barossa League, Pete.
Absolutely.
Quickly, did receive a invite, and I haven't replied to it yet. Mark Schutz, sorry. The Les Schultz Day, Open Fours, April the 6th, 9:30 start.
Yep.
Contact Judy Argent or Mark Schutz at the Anguston Bowling Club.
Absolutely.
So that's the roundup from up there in the Barossa League. So
absolutely. All right, let's. What should we do? Should we take a quick break? Because we've obviously had to roll through this as quickly as we can. All right, mate. Let's talk the state events, state singles coming up, but also the state pairs. It's been rescheduled. I wonder what's going to happen if we end up having a hot weekend again next weekend.
It's going to be hot early in the week, isn't it?
It is 39s and 40s.
Yeah,
so
it'd be interesting to see.
Absolutely. I haven't seen the singles draw.
No.
I actually missed out on putting an entry in, actually. I was a little bit lax on my dates and times. But I'll certainly be out there watching some matches there and obviously playing in the state pairs as well with Benny McDonald. So
That's
really
right.
looking forward to that.
Yep.
Let's move on to bowls tipping. Obviously, get your tips in early because of the Friday night games. Just another heads up and a reminder. I did see an email come through this morning. All right, mate, let's cruise into the extra ends. All right, let's talk tournaments.
Tournaments are on. Won't be there. The Gawler Open Fours. Kay Skews has sent out the invite to me, but I'm actually at Lindock that day, which now is the state pairs knockouts or whatever it is, or the plays. They're playing there. 16th of March, 9:30 for 10 o'clock start at Gawler. $100 per team. It's always good down there at Gawler. Turn on a good meal.
Yes.
Beaumont Classic Open Fours and Medley, Sunday the 30th of March, 9:15 for a 10 a.m. start, $100 per team.
Absolutely.
That's about all I've had, and the Les Schultz Day at Angaston. So
there are some tournaments, obviously, that are coming up. We're probably forecasting these a little bit further out in March, just to give everybody the heads up. Some of the feedback was that we were sort of promoting the events that were only 1 or 2 weeks away, and clubs were already booked out. So we wanted to give these guys an opportunity all the way out till March. I think there's going to be a lot more tournaments that are going to start to roll around towards the end of the season as well.
I've got another one up my sleeve. Is Newry, 2nd of March. I think it's 9:30 for a 10 o'clock start. That's at the Newry. That's the Don's Breakfast Day. I'll be up there for that.
It's an absolute cracker of a day. We did that a couple of years ago. It was fantastic. So.
Yeah, you didn't make the side this year.
No,
Sorry about
just
that.
not playing well enough. What can I say? Mate, let's move on to BPL coming up in a couple of weeks' time. Or it's getting closer. The Adelaide Pioneers once again will be in action at Moama, the 21st edition of the BBL, the 17th to the 21st of Feb. Put that in your diary. Make sure you've got your KO subscription already. I think they actually play some of that on the you don't actually have to have a free. You don't actually have to have a KO subscription. You can actually watch it as part of their freebies.
Oh, okay.
So if you're looking for something to do, and some of the clubs I've been to during that time will have it on the big screen on the TV, whether it be on the Saturday or whether it be on the Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, whenever the matches are being played. So well done. Let's move on to some national events. Congratulations go to Australia, but in particular South Australian Nathan Black for being part of the Trans-Tasman title in New Zealand last week.
Yeah, good on him.
Did you end up catching any of the...
No, I didn't see a bowl.
No, so it was on YouTube. So they were playing some indoors, some outdoors. Indoor rinks were the ones that were being televised. Blackie doing Blackie things was basically playing very, very well, and with Ben Twist leading off for him, it was absolutely fantastic. Yeah. So well done to Blackie. So congratulations. All right, mate, let's get into some hot topics. We've managed to keep this to half an hour. Pete will be happy tonight.
He will. I invited him on today.
Did you?
I was about to come over because here we are Friday afternoon. Yes. I said, come on, Pete, hop in the car, come over, have a little bit of a... He said he was cutting his fingernails, so I don't know what... It must have been pretty long.
Mate, some general hot topics. Double headers. Could this be a great way to promote the game if we are going to do some more live streaming? You could almost do a whole day's worth.
Yeah,
and do a couple of double headers.
Yeah, be good. Absolutely. I think so. Good crowd. You get a bit more crowd. You got 4 different teams there.
I think that's what it's all about, isn't it? Some sort of gather round / double headers.
Yep. And mix it up. You know, one club 1 year, then you go to the other club.
Exactly.
Just keep.
It can be done. Most clubs have 3 to 4 reasonably good greens that they can obviously use, and it might be a way of promoting the game and making things happen. Especially say on a Sunday or something like that where you can just knock out 2 rounds.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Shortens everything down.
Shorten the season a bit, and you combine it into a couple of games in a night. So
and then we can promote it. With the use of video technology. Yep. All right, last one, mate. If we, how do we lift the standard of play to match other states such as Victoria and WA? I've deliberately left Queensland and New South Wales out of this because of weight of numbers. But the one comment, I suppose, that keeps coming back is the standard isn't as high as it should be here in SA. And that's not having a go at anyone in particular and players and everything like that. You can only play with what you got, but you also need that quality to build quality as well.
I think the clubs here now are doing the right thing, though. They are promoting that youth. You look at Adelaide, your Modburys.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot of good young bowlers around now. Maybe not quite at that standard, but it's only going to take time.
Yep.
And if they play in that Premier League
Yes.
for X amount of years, I mean, it's only got to be the benefit of the game, isn't it?
Absolutely. So really,
I
at the
think
end
we're
of the
going
day,
the right way.
how to is time.
Yeah, I think
Just
so.
give it a little bit of time.
I think so.
Do you think 8 teams per division could work?
Yeah, possibility.
Still keep it at 16,
Yeah.
or do you reduce it down? Or do you reduce it down to 12?
Why don't you do Premier League? You know, confined it a bit more in Premier, just Prem. You know, 12 or something, and you know, perhaps 6 teams or something like that. You know, and you've got to really earn your spot to get in there. You know,
or do we go back to the Super League that we had, where it is club but region based?
Well, I suppose I don't think it really took off, did it? But
No.
you know,
But you look at, like, say, New South Wales and Victoria have just started it. You know, they have that platinum pennant and stuff like that. That may be a better way of getting some of those top players together on a bit more of a regular basis. I suppose I'm thinking along the lines of state versus state in the carnivals, and making sure that we are competing with the best. And I probably would compare us a little bit with Victoria and WA. It's a bit harder with Queensland and New South Wales.
Is there enough state games?
Well, this is the question, isn't it?
Is there? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they're only playing one carnival.
Yeah, perhaps might need one at the beginning of the season and maybe slot one in the middle.
Yep.
Make the season a bit shorter and have a state game.
It takes a lot of organisation to do it, so it's,
we're not the men.
No, definitely not. But yeah, maybe that is the way that you know, that we do maintain that competitive edge. I think that's
just to see where you're at, gauge yourself. You know, in that.
I mean, personally, I'd like to take it back even further and actually have it in your regions.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know how we have Prestige Medley and you have your region of your clubs in your region. Have players that get together on a regular basis within your region and have coaches come out and
because
actually
it's just
work
luck of
with
the
them.
draw in that, isn't it?
It is a bit, It's whoever's selecting. If they don't know who you are, well, then you're not getting selected.
No,
but at least if you put your hand up for it, then, you know, they could do a trial day.
Yeah, why not?
Then reduce it down to a top 20 and then get it down to a top 16 and then have them train on a regular basis. The country do it, and that's probably where I sort of got the idea. The country sort of do that already. I think we should be doing that down in
York
the
Peninsula, as we spoke to the lads over there.
Yeah.
You know, they do a top versus bottom, like the top of the York down to the bottom. Bit of a competitive thing there.
What you could also do is then arrange games between regions. So, I don't know, whatever region, Paynham, Adelaide, Hawthorn, or whatever it is. I think it's
Eastern
10,
or something.
Eastern or whatever, Eastern 10 or whatever it is, could play against Northern, Salisbury, Modbury and everything like that.
Just have a trial game.
Exactly right.
You know, you could be playing at 3 and you should have been leading or something. You know,
exactly
whatever,
right.
You know, so
food for thought.
Or probably not at all.
No, that's right. Food for thought, and then I think then that follows through then onto state coaching, that they can actually come out and watch these competitive trial games.
He goes all right.
Exactly right, and goes from there. So bit more thought has to go into that, but certainly that's sort of my ideas on that. And like you said, maybe we do need to give it a bit of time, but we also need to find ways of maintaining that competitive edge, and that's why I put it on the run sheet tonight. All right, mate, we better wind things up there.
Let's
we don't want to
wind it up off to the Mawson Lakes Tavern for a couple of coldies. I think tonight. I'm sweating it up here.
Enjoy, mate. Well done to everybody.
We've got to get better
at the Country Carnival. We have to get better. If we can't get Pete on and he's doing his nails,
I know.
we will have a special guest on next week, but we might even head out to, I might even head out to Modbury tonight with the video camera and the microphones and see if I can grab a couple of people for a quick couple of interviews. So best of luck.
Look forward to it.
Good luck to everybody on Saturday.
Good luck to you, Pete.
Thank you very much. And good luck to the remaining Country Carnival bowlers as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for coming to town and supporting the local clubs.